Hello, and welcome to your evening yin practice. This practice is all about getting the body prepared to help relax and unwind and prepare for sleep. And the only prop that we'll be working with today is just a blanket. So if you have a blanket, feel free to grab that. A couple of large bath towels will do just the same. Feel free to pause the video and maybe slip into something a little bit more cozier. Grab a nice sweater or your pajamas, nice cozy soft socks, something that's going to keep you nice and warm. Don't worry about if you aren't matching. I've got purple socks on and a blue sweatshirt, so feel free to grab whatever you want to wear. It's your home practice, practice in your pajamas, but I just invite you to get really nice and cozy and comfortable. Find a space that is free of distractions for the most part, um, and just really start to draw your attention inwards with this practice. So we are going to get started with a little bit of movement though before we settle into some stillness. So if you have that support of a blanket or towel, just feel free to put that to the side for now, and then meet me towards the back of your mat in a hero's pose. So just sitting back onto your heels and bringing hands to heart center. Take a moment to settle into your hero's pose. On your next inhale, we're going to reach the arms up into our kneeling position, and then an exhale to a child's pose. Nice, easy child's pose. Ease on into it. Inhale, come to a tabletop position, hands and knees. Let's take an inhale to lower the belly, lift the chin and the chest. And then an exhale to round the spine, bring your chin towards the chest. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the chin and the gaze. And exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. Walking your hands out away from you, maybe about a couple of inches. Leaning forward, bend the elbows, come down to a cobra pose on an exhale. Inhale, nice and easy, baby cobra. Little back bend here. Exhale to release all the way down. Inhale, push up into the hands for a tabletop position. And then an exhale to your child's pose. Now here in our child's pose, let's stay here for a few breaths. So if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and seal the lips. So we're taking a nice inhale through the nose and a long, slow exhale through the nose. On your next inhale, come back to tabletop. We're going to step the right foot forward in between the hands for a low lunge. So here's where you can use that blanket or towel to place underneath that left knee. We're just going to lengthen out that left leg. So just coming to a low lunge, that right knee can come past that right ankle. And we want to just keep this nice and easy. See if you can allow the pelvis to maybe soften a little bit, to sink down a little bit further. And just releasing any extra tension or stagnation through the hips. Let's stay here for a couple of breaths. You can even come up onto the knee too, so having your hands up onto that right knee. And then just shifting the weight back into the hips, sweeping that right knee. We're going to go to the opposite side, so go ahead and step that left foot forward in between the hands. Lengthen through that right leg. Find your low lunge. Come back to your breath, and we're just keeping this nice and easy and gentle. And again, just releasing any tension through the hips there. Kind of thinking about we are releasing any stagnation through the body to help prepare us for a nice, restful sleep. Couple of breaths here. Sinking the hips down a little bit more on your exhales, perhaps. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and lean back into the hips. Sweep that left knee in. And then come back to hands and knees. Take an inhale to extend the spine. And an exhale for child's pose. And then just come right back to the breath, feeling the breath along the back side of the body in your child's pose. Nice, easy breath in. A long, slow exhale through the nose. And then the next time you take an inhale, come back up to a tabletop position, but just briefly enough so where we can grab our blanket or our bath towel. Let's make our way onto our back here. So we're just going to come to a supported bridge pose. And I like to use a little bit of a softer surface, especially if I'm practicing in the evening time. So feel free to have that blanket or towel right beside you. Come all the way onto your back, but keep your knees bent and your feet planted. And then having your arms down by your sides, a good rule of thumb is if your fingertips can touch the heels of your feet, that's a good starting point for your feet placement there, having the feet maybe as wide as your hips distance apart. Let's take an inhale to lift the hips, slide that support right underneath of your hips, and then just sinking the hips down onto your support. And so you should just feel the lower back kind of just hammocking off of that blanket or towel. And now from here, you can extend the legs a little bit longer, maybe lengthening out the legs if that feels okay. Your arms can come out to a T, so really think about taking up space here. And now, if you need a little bit more height underneath the hips in your supported bridge pose, feel free to maybe place 2 blankets or 2 large towels underneath. Feel free to stack it up as much as you would like, but we're looking for just a little bit of elevation underneath those hips there. And if the legs extended long does not feel good, feel free to come back to knees bent and feet planted. And take a moment just to scan the body from crown of the head all the way down to the toes. Think about relaxing the shoulder blades back against your mat. And then as you do that, start to feel the front part of your body and your chest relax a little bit more. And sometimes we tend to grip or hold on through the thighs or the top of the around the knees and the glutes. So feel free to scan your body all the way down to the feet, the legs, just noticing if you might be holding on to any tension. Continue to come back to your breath. Each time you take an exhale, see if you can allow yourself to soften a little bit more, let your body get heavier and heavier. And then whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and bend the knees if they are not already, plant the feet. And then let's just step the feet out wider than our hips distance apart there. Hands can come to your belly, and let's just gentle windshield wiper the knees side to side. Nice and slow here. And then whenever your knees come back to center, just heel toe the feet in a little bit closer together. We're going to hug the knees right into the chest. Now that blanket or support can stay right where it's at. And just maybe a little sway side to side. And just keeping this nice and gentle. And go ahead and release the feet back down towards the mat again. And then lift the hips and slide that blanket out from underneath of you. Go ahead and release the hips back down. And then we're going to extend both legs towards the sky. And cross the right leg over the left at the knees there. Bend the knees. And then we're just going to reach for our ankles or our shins. Maybe wrapping the hands around the knees there. And we're just going to find this sort of supine Gomukhasana legs. And come right back to your breath. Come right back to just releasing the entire body weight into the mat. So each time that we transition into a different shape, think about just dropping right back into your practice and seeing where you can release that further tension that you might be holding on to. Maybe that's clenching through the jaw and you might not be noticing that. So parting the teeth slightly, let the jaw and sides of the neck be soft. Sometimes this can be a quite juicy feeling through the outside of our hips. So just checking in with how the hips are feeling. Noticing any sensations there through the hips. And just the ebb and flow of energy flowing throughout your body. And just drawing your attention back inward. And on your next inhale, go ahead and unwind the legs, straighten out your legs towards the sky. Maybe even bring them behind the hamstrings, your hands, to help just feel into this position here. And then we're going to bend the knees, lift the head to reach for the big toes, your ankles, or maybe even just behind the knee pit there. We're going to find a happy baby pose. So it might be hard if you do have socks on, but maybe that is a nice challenge there to not do more, but do less. So maybe you're forced to just reach for your shins or your ankles and not going too deep into the stretch. If the lower back wants to peel up off the mat, go ahead and allow that. And we're just having a nice, slow and steady breath here. Maybe perhaps you invite in a little bit of deep belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, where we take an inhale and we really feel the belly expand. Diaphragm pulls down into the pelvic bowl. And then as you exhale, the diaphragm returns back to its resting position. So feel free to invite in any breath that feels intuitive and helpful for you this evening. And on your next exhale, go ahead and bring your knees together using your hands to help assist you. Hug the knees into the chest. And maybe a little sway side to side, but keep it nice and gentle. And then again, extending both legs towards the sky. Let's cross the left leg over the right this time, crossing at the knees, and start to bend the knees. Reach for your shins, your ankles, coming right back to your supine Gomukhasana legs, and just maybe noticing what might be feeling differently texturally. So I am noticing on this side, feels a little bit like something might be catching. So feel free to make any adjustments there. We don't want to have any sharp shooting pain down the legs. So feel free to adjust the leg positions if you are experiencing that. And we want to find a position that we can really just settle into and relax into. So keeping this a nice passive stretch, not doing too much, keeping this more yin-like rather than yang. Come right back to your breath, come right back to your practice. Invite in whatever breath feels useful for you in this moment. Could be that deep belly breathing, and just a natural breath, nice slow and steady breath. Maybe perhaps you focus on lengthening the exhales. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to start to unravel the legs, straightening the legs. And then go ahead and bend your knees, hug your knees in towards the chest. Take a deep inhale through the nose here. And then as you exhale, allow both knees to fall to the left. So we're going to find a supine spinal twist here, both knees towards the left. My arms are in this cactus variation here, but feel free to have your arms rested on your belly or maybe just out to a T. And as we come right back to our breath, we're giving our internal organs a nice massage here. And so perhaps you start to slow down your breath even more. Allow any unserving thoughts to just float away. And so we're not suppressing these thoughts. We're acknowledging these thoughts and feelings that might be arising in the mind, but just allowing them to come and go like a cloud in the sky. Not holding on to anything. Acknowledging, releasing, and then coming right back to your practice and your breath. And preparing the mind to wind down. Preparing the body to wind down. And on your next inhale, go ahead and lift that right knee. Let the left knee follow. Come onto your back. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Take your inhale through the nose. And then exhale, letting the knees come to the right side now. So just letting your knees fall to the right. And if you have your blanket or your towel, you can place underneath the knees perhaps. Sometimes I like to just not use any props at all with this though, and just allowing myself to see how heavy I can get my body. But sometimes the props can be useful as well if certain areas are tight and you need to just kind of ease on into it. And then some folks like to practice with something in between the knees. So feel free to place that blanket right in between the knees. if that feels good. But just come right back to the practice. And allowing the body to just slow down. Let the mind slow down. And see how long you can focus on your breath. So each time that your mind wants to wander away, just gently bring it back, saying, maybe mentally saying inhale and exhale. Let's stay here for a few more breaths. And let your body continue to soften and release. Relax on back. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and lift that left knee. Bring your right knee with you. Let's hug those knees in towards the chest. Maybe a little sway side to side. And then from here, we're going to start to settle into a Shavasana. So feel free to use that blanket or bath towels if you have that. I love to practice with these props, especially for Shavasana. So I love to just place something right underneath my knees, and feel free to build up from this. So you might need a couple of stacks of blankets, a couple of bath towels, but feel free to place something right underneath your knees and maybe just have the knees out open, maybe to like this little mini butterfly almost. Now, if that doesn't feel good, you can just lengthen out your legs and just feel that support right underneath your knees. You can do that. Sometimes it's even useful to roll your blanket or towel just a little bit and place right underneath of your head, of your neck, I should say. So just right underneath of the neck, have a little bit of support, and you can start to relax that way. So whatever version you decide to choose here for your Shavasana, feel free to start to settle in and just take this moment to relax a little bit more. See if you can allow yourself to just drop the external world completely, preparing for rest and sleep. Focusing on your breath. Maybe you even focusing on the little details of what your body does whenever you breathe, and you really notice. So as you're just lying there, paying attention to your breath, notice the little bits and pieces of the body that expand on your inhale. And then as you exhale, see if there's any parts of the body that you might be gripping on or bracing or holding on to. So that might be through the top of the knees or the thighs, the glutes. Really allow yourself to relax on back and enjoy your Shavasana. Enjoy the benefits of your practice, preparing your mind and body for rest. And so I invite you to stay here for as long as you would like, to help settle into your Shavasana, to help settle into your sleep, and to allow yourself to just enjoy this time as well. This bit of self-care, and just noticing as you keep your attention drawn inwards. And so till next time, care of yourself. Namaste.